The bombs on Gaza, the drones over Iran, these aren't just Israeli actions. They're enabled by a network of Arab governments. These same leaders who publicly mourn Palestinian deaths are, behind closed doors, facilitating the means of their destruction. Israel's military machine is fueled in part by its neighbors. This isn't a conspiracy. It's documented by flight trackers, leaked intelligence, and investigative journalism. Israeli warplanes often fly through permissive Arab airspace, refuel at U.S. bases on Arab soil, and operate with tacit approval. While the world watches the devastation, the support structure remains hidden. The recent Israeli strikes on Iran highlight this alliance. Israeli jets use airspace over countries like Syria and leverage U.S. bases in Qatar. These are not accidental. They're coordinated, requiring at least a silent nod from Arab states. This partnership is driven by shared animosity toward Iran, outweighing any real commitment to Palestine. The silence from Arab capitals is a silence of complicity. Flight data and intelligence leaks reveal shared objectives and coordinated action. This isn't just turning a blind eye, it's active participation in a regional security framework where Israel is a partner. This shadow partnership emboldens Israel, giving it impunity. Arab rulers have chosen their own interests over Palestinian lives. The architecture of support is the dirty secret of Middle Eastern geopolitics. It's time to expose the hypocrisy leaders who condemn in public but enable in private. The devastation in Gaza is not just an Israeli operation. It's a regional project. The Arab world's rulers have Israel's back, even as their people stand with Palestine. Meet the Axis of Assistance, a de facto coalition of Arab states empowering Israel while abandoning Palestine. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan are at the heart of this network, sharing intelligence and military cooperation, all to counter Iran. The result? Israel's military dominance and Palestinian isolation. The so-called Arab Iron Dome was on display when Iran launched drones at Israel in 2024. Jordanian jets shot them down, and Gulf states provided real-time intelligence. In that moment, Arab states became Israel's first line of defense. Years of secret talks and normalization have led to this. Arab states outsourcing their security to Israel, providing it with a strategic buffer. Intelligence is shared, military exercises are joint, and the U.S. is the architect. Public condemnations of Israel are contradicted by private collaboration. Gulf investments flow into Israeli tech, even as aid to Palestinians is blocked or controlled. This axis is a historic betrayal, shifting the balance of power and leaving Palestinians more vulnerable than ever. Arab leaders have chosen their thrones over Palestinian rights. The hypocrisy is breathtaking, and the consequences devastating. The axis of assistance is the new reality of the Middle East. Egypt is Israel's indispensable partner in the Gaza blockade, controlling the Rafah crossing, the only southern exit. Rafah isn't a humanitarian corridor, it's a choke point enforced with ruthless efficiency by the Sisi regime. Egypt has built walls, flooded tunnels, and turned Gaza's last lifeline into a business opportunity. Palestinians pay thousands in bribes just to leave. It's extortion, profiting from misery. Humanitarian aid is delayed for weeks, blocked by Egyptian and Israeli bureaucracy working in tandem. During Israeli assaults, aid trucks sat idle in Sinai while children starved in Gaza. Egypt blames Israel, Israel blames Egypt. But it's a shared system of control, designed to punish Gaza collectively. By enforcing the blockade, Egypt relieves Israel of the burden and allows it to claim Gaza isn't fully occupied. This is a convenient fiction. Cairo's actions align perfectly with Israel's strategy to isolate Hamas and crush resistance. Egypt's government, fearful of the Muslim Brotherhood and eager for Western aid, has become a jailer at the southern gate. The suffering of Gazans is turned into profit and leverage. Egypt's policy is a strategic gift to Israel and a stain on its own history. The world condemns Israel's siege but often ignores Egypt's role as the enforcer. Rafah is the golden cage, and Egypt holds the key. The blockade is a joint project and the shame is shared. Jordan, with a majority Palestinian population, is one of Israel's closest security partners. While leaders speak of solidarity, Jordan's actions tell another story: active military and intelligence cooperation with Israel. In 2024, Jordanian jets shot down Iranian drones headed for Israel, not to protect Jordan but to defend its neighbor. This was the Arab Iron Dome in action, a clear message to Palestinians. Jordan's army shields Israel, even as Gaza burns. Pro-Palestinian protests are suppressed, aid convoys blocked, and public anger tightly managed. The peace treaty with Israel and reliance on U.S. aid make this partnership a matter of regime survival. For Palestinians, it's a profound betrayal, a brother nation acting as security guard for their oppressor. Jordan's rulers have chosen stability and Western favor over genuine solidarity. Palestine, for them, is a cause to be managed, not a liberation to be won. While Egypt and Jordan provide the buffer, the Gulf states provide the cash. The UAE and Saudi Arabia have moved from quiet normalization to open partnership, investing billions in Israel's economy. These investments aren't just in tech, they're in companies that build the weapons and surveillance systems used against Palestinians. Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund channels money into Israeli firms through third parties, funding the military-industrial complex. It's a strategic decision. Gulf states gain access to cutting-edge tech and buy their way into the new Middle East order. The Abraham Accords promised peace, but delivered profit for elites and impunity for Israel. Palestinian rights are collateral in this grand bargain. Gulf investments give Israel a green light to continue its occupation, knowing its neighbors are now stakeholders. The alliance is economic, strategic, and deeply cynical. The normalization is not about peace. It's about power and profit. The blood of Palestinians stains every gilded handshake. The UAE is Israel's most enthusiastic Arab partner, openly integrating its economy and security with Tel Aviv. Emirati money funds Israeli arms companies. Drones and surveillance tech tested on Palestinians are now sold to the UAE. Profits from these deals fuel further repression against Palestinians and Emiratis alike. The UAE is also involved in energy projects, tying its security to Israel's stability. Intelligence and cyber surveillance cooperation is deep. Israeli spyware like Pegasus is used by the UAE to monitor dissidents. This partnership is about regime survival, not regional peace. The UAE gets tools of repression. Israel gets cash, legitimacy, and a strategic ally. For Palestinians, it's another betrayal. Arab wealth funding their oppression. The alliance is a pact to maintain the status quo, not to liberate Palestine. The price is paid by the people, not the rulers. Turkey's President Erdogan is a master of pro-Palestine rhetoric, but the reality is starkly different. Despite fiery speeches, Turkey's trade with Israel has hit record highs. Turkish ports and pipelines are vital for Israeli commerce. Turkish businesses profit from deals that strengthen Israel's economy, even as Gaza suffers. Military ties persist. Turkey's drone program was built with Israeli technology, and key components still come from Israeli firms. Erdogan's rhetoric shores up his base, but his policies ensure continued cooperation with Israel and the West. This balancing act gives Israel an economic lifeline and gives Palestinians false hope. The contradiction is deliberate public outrage, private partnership. Turkey's pro-Palestine stance is a political tool, not a genuine commitment. The real winners are the elites, the losers are the Palestinians. Words are cheap, trade and technology speak louder. Turkey's duplicity is a microcosm of the region's hypocrisy. The loudest words of support rarely translate into meaningful action. The complicity extends beyond the Middle East. Indonesia and Pakistan, both vocal supporters of Palestine, quietly buy Israeli surveillance tech. Publicly, their leaders denounce Israel. Privately, their security agencies use Israeli tools to monitor their own citizens. Deals are routed through third countries, justified as national security. The same technology used to oppress Palestinians is used to suppress dissent at home. The Palestinian cause is a tool for managing public opinion, not a real commitment. The disconnect between citizens and rulers is glaring. The Ummah is failed by leaders who speak of solidarity but act in self-interest. The hypocrisy is global, and the price is paid by ordinary people. The reality is grim. Arab and Muslim governments are not just failing Palestine, they're complicit in its oppression. They provide airspace, intelligence, investments, and markets for Israel, all while issuing empty statements of support. Contrast this with the courage of ordinary people, students, dock workers, and activists who stand with Gaza at real personal risk. True solidarity isn't about rhetoric, it's about action. The rulers have chosen power over principle. The people must lead the way. Change won't come from the top, it must be built from the ground up. This is a call to reclaim the cause of Palestine from cynical politicians. Demand real pressure, end trade and military ties with Israel, lift the blockade, and hold complicit governments accountable. The people must speak louder than the palaces. Build a global movement so powerful it can't be ignored. No business as usual until Palestine is free. The future of solidarity